Hey guys, and welcome back to the Tavern build. Sorry it's been so long, but we're going to get right into it. First of all, I have been working on it. It hasn't been idle since the last time I put a video up, so let me kind of run you through what I've done. You'll see I've finished off most of the trim work, the wood trim work on the outside. This is all same way we did the downstairs. Built some doors to go in each of the rooms. Got those built, so again, same as what we did downstairs, and did a lot of the inside trim work there. Also got the walls, some of the walls plastered up as much as I could, and got their trim work done, so that stuff just takes a long time. So I got to get these put in and painted, but before we actually attach the walls, we want to finish decorating the room, so that's what we're going to do today, and specifically what we are going to work on is we're going to hang some pictures in the room. So if you can see, like right here, I've just got, and this is going to be hard to see because they're really tiny, but I'll do my best to make sure you can see that. Just a little picture on the wall. So what I've done to do that is I just downloaded a bunch of images that I liked, fantasy images, just Google fantasy images. I just got some off of Google Images, downloaded them, put them in GIMP and sized them down to what I wanted and printed them out. And so here's how we're going to do this. So step one is pick one of your images that you want. I like colorful images because they're really hard to see this small, so I tend to pick ones that have some color in them. And we're just going to cut that out. I'm going to do my best to try to keep this in frame and keep my hands out of the way, but we're dealing with really tiny stuff here, so I pre-apologize if I get in the way. But we're just going to cut one of these pictures out. Simple, simple. They're just printed on plain paper, nothing special. Alright, so we've got this tiny little picture here, and now we're going to make a frame for it. So what we are going to do is we've got just some thin, I think this is 16th inch balsa wood, and I am just going to cut a thin strip off of this balsa wood. The exact measurement is exactly how wide you want your frame. So I'm just going to cut this off real thin like this. So we've got this tiny little piece of balsa here. This is going to be our frame. And this is going to be really hard to see. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here for you. Excuse the shaky cam. Alright, so there's the picture. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to take our knife, put the inside corners on here. We're going to cut about a 45. You don't have to be really precise with this because it's so small that nobody's going to notice if it's off a little bit. And you want to cut the frame just a tiny bit smaller than the picture so that you don't have empty space between the frame and the picture. So we're just going to cut all four sides of this 45s. And once we get that done, I haven't finished, I'd have to cut two more pieces, but I'm not going to waste your time watching me cut wood. I'm going to set this aside. Then what we're going to do is we are going to take our picture and we are going to use a glue stick, not white glue, because white glue is just going to make a big mess and you're going to have lumps. So use a glue stick, and I've already pasted a picture. Just paste it directly on the wall, the picture you cut out. Then you're going to take your frame pieces that you cut out and you are going to stain them however you want or paint them. I've just done the stain the same way I did the trim on the inside, and so I've got already the pieces pre-cut here for this picture that's on the wall. So you can see I've got my four trim pieces there, and you are really going to want to use some tweezers for this. And I found the easiest thing to do here, so that you don't make a huge mess, is forgot to get my glue out. Use some wood glue, because it's got less water content in it, so it'll tack faster and it'll be easier to get these things on and not have them slide around. And so I'm just going to take a piece of paper and put a dab of wood glue on there. You don't want to try to put this directly on these pieces. They're so tiny you'll just make a huge mess of yourself. And then we're going to take our pieces, make sure they're oriented correctly. We're just going to dip them in a little bit of glue and wipe it off. You don't need much. So you don't want a bunch of excess glue sitting around. And then we are going to carefully put that on the picture. And make sure it's straight. You don't want crooked pictures in your, well, I don't know, maybe you do want crooked pictures in your tavern. I don't. Alright, so there's the top piece. Now, we're just going to do that same thing for the other pieces, and you're probably going to have to work this around a little bit to make sure your pieces are lined up good and that it all looks good. But just be careful not to get too much glue on there, because it's just not going to work very well if you do. Not to mention the fact that it'll stick to the tweezers. That's always fun. Let's try that again. There we go. And aren't you glad you get to watch me glue on pieces of wood in real time? Isn't that awesome? It's just awesome. And honestly, doing this stuff, this little detail work, is what takes forever on projects like this. But the payoff is it looks really, really good when you get it all done. Excuse my arm there, I'm just trying to get things lined up. Alright, one more piece. Might actually want to get some glue on there. And I hope you guys can see this well enough. I know my arm's in the way, but you should be able to get the idea. Alright, and there you go. You just let that dry. Make sure it's as lined up as you can get it. And you've got a nice picture on your wall. So we will see if we can zoom into that a little bit. Other way, dummy. And that's how it turns out. So I've done this one. And where is the other one? Oh my goodness. They're getting lost. There, and we've done this one in the room. That's the one I just showed you. This one. So you can see how that kind of dresses the room up. There's other things you can do in the rooms. I was thinking about putting like foot lockers in there. But because of the other stuff we're doing on the other channel and all the work I have to do to get ready for that, I'm going to just call these complete. I think they've got enough decoration in them. I'm not going to spend any more time decorating them. So what I'm going to do before the next video is put a couple more pictures on the wall, just like I did. I'm going to go ahead and get the walls actually finished up, glued in, get the doors glued in, get the walls plastering finished and painted, so that all the upstairs should be done at that point. Then we're going to start working on the chimney and getting that squared away. So next time we will work on the chimney. I should have the upstairs pretty much done, except for possibly this back wall here. I haven't quite figured out exactly what I'm going to do with that, so we'll leave that for another time. But until then, you guys have a good one.